Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive change in the digital product world, the 2026 Etsy Digital Planner market shift. Let's get right into it. 1.6 million. That is the exact number of digital planner listings actively fighting for attention on Etsy right now. Literally, 1.6 million. So, the stakes? Yeah, they're sky high. In a sea of over a million options, how do you even stop your products from completely disappearing? And on top of battling the algorithm, creators are battling some serious burnout. Just listen to what one seller recently shared. They said, I can spend 30 to 45 minutes writing one product description. By the time I finish, I hate writing, and I haven't even launched. That hits hard, doesn't it? It perfectly highlights this massive metadata bottleneck. The sheer weight of just trying to get a product visible is totally crushing the actual joy of creating it.
All right, let's jump into Section 1, the market evolution, 2022 versus 2026. To really grasp how we got here, we've got to look at the mindset shift. Scaling a shop today is a completely different beast than it was just a few years ago. Back in 2022, traffic was absolutely booming. You could honestly throw up a planner with a generic aesthetic and individual random listings would sell perfectly fine. But 2026, traffic is quieter and the competition is cutthroat. The algorithm is practically demanding cohesive branding. And buyers, they are totally over generic. They want hyper-specific vibes. So that old strategy of just listing random disconnected pages, yeah, that's officially dead in the water.
So, how are the top sellers actually surviving this? The answer is bundles. The data shows us that bundles generate 3 to 5 times more revenue per transaction compared to selling individual pages. Buyers want the whole shebang, a complete, highly specific aesthetic package. But here's the catch. Bundling requires rapid production speed. You've got to churn out multiple perfectly matching pages, and you have to do it incredibly fast. Which brings us to Section 2, the aesthetic cohesion problem.
Now, this crazy demand for rapid volume naturally leads creators straight to AI. Makes sense, right? But it introduces a massive new hurdle that we're calling the AI trap. Standard generators like ChatGPT, Image, or Midjourney, they are incredible at spitting out a beautiful, one-off image. But when you try to maintain a unified visual system across a multi-page digital product, they really struggle. And if you're trying to build, say, a 12-page planner bundle, inconsistent outputs are an absolute conversion killer.
Just imagine generating your kit, page by page. Your cover comes out looking beautifully cottagecore, amazing. But then you flip to the weekly spread, and suddenly it's modern minimalist. And then your monthly page randomly decides to be kawaii. What you've accidentally done is build a Frankenstein planner. Sophisticated 2026 buyers notice this jarring lack of harmony immediately. And trust me, your reviews and your sales will absolutely plummet because of it.
And that leads us to the new gold standard of today's marketplace, aesthetic DNA. This is a locked-in visual vibe, where every single page in a kit matches perfectly, from the cover right down to the last printable page. It is exactly what the algorithm rewards, and more importantly, it's what buyers are more than happy to pay a premium for. Section 3. Visualizing the vibes. Let's see what this aesthetic DNA actually looks like. Take the Cottage Sunroom 12-page reading planner bundle. Notice the intense cohesion going on here. Every single element, the floral borders on the mood tracker, the wicker chair on the cover, that illustrated bookshelf, they all share the exact same lighting, the same color palette, and the same illustrative style. It genuinely feels like one cohesive universe that the buyer gets to step into. Or think about a cozy, rainy Sunday 6-page bundle. The specific vibe, the cool blues, the rain trickling on the window, the steaming mug, is maintained flawlessly across the cover and all the internal layouts, from the weekly planner down to the habit tracker. That is exactly what locked-in aesthetic DNA looks like in practice. So which aesthetics actually have this locked-in demand right now? Looking at current market data, in the hottest tier, we are seeing massive traction for highly specific themes, things like the cottagecore cozy planner or the dark academia study planner. Both are driving huge demand but still have surprisingly low competition. In the Grow tier, bullet journal templates remain super strong for the booho community. And for emerging trends, the clean home aesthetic is really taking off. The absolute crucial takeaway here, none of these are just a cute planner. They are laser-focused, deeply targeted niches. Moving on to Section 4, the systemized solution, a case study. To understand how successful creators are achieving this specific cohesion at scale, we can examine a case study, the Cozy Planner Kit Generator. Now, what's important here isn't necessarily the specific tool, but the methodology it represents. It completely shifts the focus away from randomly generating one-off images and instead focuses on building a repeatable, structured workflow. It's all about systemizing the creative process to absolutely guarantee that aesthetic DNA every single time.
Let's break down how this systemized approach actually plays out. It relies on a tight 4-step publishing workflow designed to take a seller from staring at a blank screen to a fully published kit in about 30 to 60 minutes. Step 1, you lock in the specific vibe. Step 2, generate the cohesive assets. Step 3, design the actual layouts. And Step 4, publish. Simple, repeatable, fast. Having a system like this allows sellers to be incredibly strategic with their product architecture. You can choose to rapidly deploy mini kits of 6 pages to quickly test out a new niche without burning a ton of time. Or, if a niche is proven, you can build out expansive standard kits of 12 pages to hit higher price points. It gives creators a scalable, predictable roadmap instead of just guessing. Now, remember that quote from earlier? The seller who was totally paralyzed spending 45 minutes writing a single description? Well, a true systemized workflow attacks that metadata block head-on. This case study system actually automates the title generation. It extracts exactly the 13 SEO tags Etsy requires, writes out the algorithm-ready descriptions, and even hands you mockup prompts to boost your click-through rates. It completely removes the friction from that final, vital step of hitting publish.
All right, let's bring it all together. Section 5, Final Takeaways. To overcome the massive saturation of 1.6 million listings, you have got to pivot away from generic designs. It's time to embrace hyper-specific aesthetics tailored to very targeted audiences. You absolutely must lock in your aesthetic DNA across every single page of your bundles if you want to command premium pricing. And finally, systemize your creation process for both speed and SEO compliance, because otherwise, the sheer volume of work required today is going to lead you straight to burnout.
Which leaves us with the most important question for you to consider right now. Take a hard look at your current workflow and your shop. In a marketplace of 1.6 million, does your digital product have the exact aesthetic DNA needed to stop the scroll? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and we'll see